Hey guys, Lego Man 7777 doing a review on the latest model. It is the Ultimate Collector's Sandcrawler. Alright, so as you can barely see, it does say 14 plus at the top. This is a huge box, so it doesn't really fit well on the screen. 75059, 3,296 pieces, and is $299.99. It is available now. It's been available since the 3rd. Sorry that this review's a little late. I had some stuff to do. So here is the new official mark that says it's Ultimate Collectors. It says it on the bottom corner in gold. This is a very large box, so just showing you. This is the width of the box. It's a very wide box. It's a little smaller than the other $300 sets. But so there's some of the features, but I'll get into all of that in a minute. I just learned something about this that I didn't know, which is always nice. And here you can see your minifigures, but I'll get into all of them in just a second. Okay, so here's the instruction booklet. It's as you can see, it's a very thick instruction booklet. Yeah, I think it has 310 pages of build, so it's very long. So there's your final digital model with all your minifigures. One thing I want to say before I get into the minifigures is the box does the set no justice. I don't like the way the angle that they have it on the box. They could have done a different picture, but that's my opinion. So, let's get into our minifigures. And I'll move this so we can actually see what we're doing. Okay. We don't want to focus on the minifigures. Almost. Almost. Come on, focus. There we go. Almost sneezed. So here's Owen Lars and his, how he is in episode 4. Completely brand new minifigure. New torso and legs. I think he looks pretty good. I like that they gave him a beard. And his hairpiece just works pretty good in this set. So he's brand new, and he's pretty good. I wouldn't really have a use for him, but he comes in the set because he's actually there. Our next minifigure is a brand new version of Luke Skywalker. There's nothing new about his lightsaber, and his torso is, I don't know if his torso is new. I want to say it is, but it's pretty standard anyway. Honestly, it's new just because it has back printing, but I could be wrong. He's got the longer hair, just like in the Millennium Falcon that came out a little bit ago. So he's got hyper realistic detail on his face now. He's got leg printing, which I like. I do like his leg printing. It does look good. And he is a double-sided face, so here's his other face, kind of goofy. I don't really like that face, so I keep this face more. Our next minifigure, and you get 4 of them in this set. It is the new and improved Jawa. So the Jawa has new torso printing, and he's got the same small legs. He doesn't come with cape, and that's perfectly alright. It doesn't really matter. I read some people were upset about that, so just whatever. They don't have a cape. If you have the other Sandcrawler, give him the other capes. So here's his face, just 2 yellow eyes. That's all you can see. And they have two types of weapons. This is a little stun gun, and I don't really know what the other one is. Some kind of stun gun as well, I would assume. But here's what that one looks like. So you do get 4 little Jawas, and that makes up the majority of the minifigures in the set. Our next minifigure is a brand new C-3PO. He's got, you know, damage from being out in the desert for a while. His head is the same, but as you can see, he does now have leg printing, and I think it looks very good. And it just adds to the overall minifigure. But, yeah, I don't know, it's just, when I saw that he had leg printing, I thought that was really cool. Because on the box, he's facing backwards, so you can't really see that he has leg printing. Of course, we have to have R2-D2 in it, and there's nothing really new about him in any way. He does have the gray head now, which I think is going to be the standard from now on. And, you know, just R2-D2, if you don't already have 72 of them. Our next minifigure is just classified as an R2 unit, so you can pretty much use him for whatever you want. But he's just a green and white astromech droid, just like R2-D2. And I think he looks pretty cool. I like him. I wish he would have had more green on him, but that's okay. Our next minifigure is R5-D4, which is a little different than an R2 unit. And, you know, we've been seeing these type of astromech droids a lot nowadays. And, yeah, he's pretty much just a red one of these guys. Red and blue. Not too much. I mean, he does have the new headpiece, and that's cool. I do like that. But otherwise, not much new. And you probably already have a couple of these guys as well. Our next minifigure, which is completely redesigned, is the Gonk droid. And if anyone has or knows about a Gonk droid from previous sets and stuff, pretty much the only other set is the other Sandcrawler. They used to be those little storage compartments. You call them a refrigerator if you want to. Whatever you used to put, they used to store stuff in them. But now they actually built it out of bricks, and it looks a lot better and more realistic. And that's a printed piece, by the way, his face. Our next minifigure, and I heard a lot of people really liked this guy, is a R1 series droid. And he's pretty cool. When I first looked at the box, I didn't really know that he was a droid. He kind of just looked, like one of those things that they have out in the desert that moisture farmers use. So I thought that was what that was. But no, he's a droid. And I like his coloring a lot. The dark green looks really nice. And our last minifigure is the Treadwell droid. And he's been redesigned since the last one. And I'll probably show you that later on in the review. But, you know, he spins. That's fun. He spins really well, actually. So that's the Treadwell droid. And of course, it's not minifigured in any way, but you do get a brick separator in this set, of course. You get it in all the sets over $50 nowadays, I believe. So, let's get into the Sandcrawler now. Or let's not focus. That's better. So, let me move this out of the way. So, the first feature, because it's pretty much the most obvious feature, as it is on treads, so the Sandcrawler does move, and this one moves really well on its treads. As you can see, I was just pushing it, and it just rolls nicely. And I'll show you this gear. But if you spin the gear, you can see this back wheel is moving, and that is how you turn it. So now it is turned. It makes a very wide turn. But you'd expect that because it's a very large vehicle. And I'm running stuff over. I don't know how to drive. Whatever. But I will get to the this little gear and show you that in a minute. I just wanted to show you some of the detail real quick. I'm going to actually move the camera so we can see it. I apologize if it's shaky and you don't like that, but I just want to show you the detail because it is an Ultimate Collector set. So there's a detail on all 4 of the wheels. There is a sticker, and those are pretty much the only pain to build is those wheels. As you can see, there's a ladder there, and this does move, so they can get in the Jawas. There's some side detail. There's a lot of cool building techniques and a few new pieces from what I could tell. So there's the front. There's a sticker there. So here's here. There's little lights right here. And those are kind of cool. I like that they added those. Here's the front of the Sandcrawler with, you know, the detail. You can see the angle that they used to build it. Show you the top. There's the top detail. There's a little gear there. There's some detail here. Oops, sorry. Some detail there. I like that. That looks cool. Here's the back side. And of course, the most detailed part is the back. And I just think that looks really cool. It was fun to build this, and as you can see, there's quite a few stickers on the back end. And there's the gear that controls the wheels. And there's both of the wheels. So, just from looking at that, there is quite a lot of detail on this set, which makes it a Ultimate Collector set. And I mean, even LEGO themselves said it. They posted on the box, so we know this time that this one is an actual Ultimate Collector set. So, let's get into some features. Where should I start? I'm going to start in the back. You can take this panel off. It's just sitting there, so you can just easily remove the panel. And these doors open like that. And then we can see inside. And I will show you that. There's the inside detail. There's a little ladder, and it does move. And I'll show you that when I get there. And there's some stuff, and I will show you all of the stuff that's in the back. So let me just focus back. Let me actually move this so it's more like this. Alright, so this little ladder I was talking about, you just pull it up, and then you can get on the Sandcrawler. That's cool, and they have a little slot where you can move this ladder and put it on the other side if you want it there or not, but I'm just going to keep it where they had it. So what do you do in the back? What is here? Beside the Technic stuff that you can see controls the gears, we have this little crane that you fold like this, and I'll show you its feature in a minute. So I'll just keep that out. We have this grabber, and I'll show you that in a minute too. And we also have this, which this one isn't as important as the other ones. This is the magnet that the Sandcrawler uses to pick up droids in this case, because the Sandcrawler actually used to be a mining platform, and the Jawas just kind of took them. But anyway, that's that section, and this just slides back on. nicely. Okay. I actually took all three of those out, but whatever. So our next thing is, there's this little handle right here, and you can pull that open. And you can do it on the other side too, and I'll open it just so you can see that you can see through the whole set. And, well, you can't really see inside, but what you're supposed to do as well is you're supposed to take off this top paneling, which also comes off this whole section. And inside there's all kinds of stuff. And I will lift it up and show you all kinds of stuff. So there's the inside of the Sandcrawler. Okay, in here. So as you see those three little bins, I'll show you their feature. There's a crane there, and that's a little gear, and I'll show you what that does. The little speeder is sitting in there, and I'll get closer to that in a minute. I just wanted to show you the inside of the Sandcrawler. That is all of the features on the inside. So what you do is, and I'll just show you this now, is you take these little bins and you push it through this. So what happens is it goes through and slides down and into that little thing for the Jawas to investigate. And I thought that was really cool, and that part of the set was really irritating to build because it's kind of asymmetrical, and I didn't catch that, and I built it wrong, so I had to take it apart and do it again. But that's all fun. So anyway, I'm just going to keep one of these barrels out for later as well. And I can now put the camera back so it's not all shaky for you. But, as you saw, there was a crane. And what you can do is you can lift the crane up. As you can see, it's now sticking out. I'm going to focus back in. And you can move it all the way to the side and rotate it. Now what you do is you spin the gear. And this part's also irritating if you're like a younger builder or just have big hands, is this is really hard to tie these knots. But anyway, you can see that this little hook goes all the way down to the bottom, and you can attach things to it. But I'm going to roll it up a little bit so we can actually see what I'm doing. I'll roll it about halfway here. So there's that. Now you can see it's hanging like that and yada yada yada. And now I'm going to take this hook that I showed you earlier, and the Jawas just put this on. And basically this hook is used for holding these bins. You open it up. What would really happen is it would be like this, and it would go down, and it would lock on like this. I'm actually going to do it, whatever. See if I can do it. Okay, so you do that, and then you push these little things down and onto the barrel, and then you can pick up the barrel. And I don't know if you saw any of that, but there's holding the barrel with the crane. And I thought that's pretty cool, because then, you know, you can slide the barrel into that with the crane, and that's all kinds of cool. That's a fun feature. I mean, if you tie it right. I'm actually going to keep this little barrel out for a little longer. So I'm going to just spin this up now, because we're done with this crane. And as you can see, it kind of folds up by itself too, and that's cool. And then you just slide it back to the middle and spin it and lock it down like that, and there you go. That's that. Now we can shut these side doors. What I did want to show real quick is this little section of build, just because I thought it was really cool. you build this little part right here, and you connect it to this little hinge, and use this one stud. And I just thought that was really cool the way they built that. Anyway, that's all fun. So, alright, so there's all that. Now, you were probably asking, what is that little gear at the top for? Well, if you spin that little gear, it opens up this part of the Sandcrawler. And I will now show you this part of the Sandcrawler. So there are little chains that they use to hold it. And as you can see, there's another crane right there. And that's where the little speeder is. So what you do is you can pull this crane out to about there and pretty much do the same thing as the other crane. You take your little attachment that you want to do and you put it on, and then you grab a droid just like that. So that's the crane holding R2, and it does, but if I held them differently it would work better. Let me position this. Or I could just do that. So I'm going to just do that. So, you can reel the gear up and everything, but that's a lot of time. So there's that attachment. You can use that to pick up droids as well. And to put this crane away, you just slide it all the way back in. And then you spin the gear in the top the other direction, and that folds up. But I did want to show you the little speeder first, the Jawa speeder, because I thought it was kind of cool. So this is just a little Jawa speeder. It's not really anything spectacular, and there's a sticker. But you have Jawa find someone out in the distance, finds a droid, put the little box on, put the droid in there, and drive it up, and then do all that crane stuff I just showed you. So that's pretty much what the speeder does. And there's a little slot for the speeder to just sit there. And that's always cool. And I knocked over this bin. So now I'm going to put this bin back. And put all this back. Alright, and then you just spin the gear, like I said, the other way, and it folds up nicely. And closes. That was kind of out of focus. But you got the idea. That comes down and goes up. So our last feature of this set is you can open up the top hatch and see inside. And there's the inside, where the Jawas like to do stuff. No, this is where the Jawas control the Sandcrawler. And that's always good. So you could probably fit quite a few Jawas in there if you have more than just the 4 that they give you. But all 4 can fit in there, and that's always good. Now right here, if you open these little things up, these little barrels fall out, and there's 2 gray barrels and then a box, and inside there's a piece. Now I'm going to cut forward to me showing you what the little pieces do.